Here are a couple of tricks that I've used to increase my conversion rate on sales calls drastically. And these are small little hacks that I've done that my team members have laughed at for so long, and also allow you to frame the phone call better with better expectations. And you will also acquire the right clients to not give your fulfillment process a complete headache. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and let's help you close more deals.
Hey, my name is Jason Wojo. Welcome to my channel. I run a multiple seven-figure agency, so make sure you subscribe, and I hope you guys enjoy the video.
Number one thing that I always do is I switched from phone calls to Zoom, because it's hard for somebody on Zoom to just hang up on you. You know, like for them to hit that red button and click leave and then just like completely leave you there, like that's tough to do unless you piss them off. And then the other side of the coin is on phone calls, you can't see their expression, you can't see their body language. It's harder for you to really like have an actual intellectual conversation with somebody. It's easier to close through a Zoom than a phone call. Also, if the client or prospect is willing to get on a Zoom versus a call, they're more qualified already. Right? And other things that I do see in calls is that people will hop on Zoom with their cell phone, which I personally don't like because it just really sucks. And you're just talking to like a little named logo if they don't want to use their camera, because if they're on their phone, like using camera is going to overheat their phone, right? And it's going to cause them to lag. And then if you get to the end of the sales call and you're looking to close and get their card number, you literally can't, because they're just going to somehow disconnect. Like I've had it happen to me with the phones. It just sucks. So qualifying them in that manner actually makes a huge difference. Second thing I do is inside Zoom, you can change your name on desktop. And this is like a really cool trick that I've done many, many times. And I'll put my name and then in parentheses, I put closing call. It frames the prospect to read my name and say, oh, wow, this is a closing call. It frames them already into being a buyer because they know what closing means. And if they're on a closing call, they're either going to be closed or they get to go free. And it's literally the best thing ever. And that was one hack that I've always used, where I would say in the meeting, hey, listen, this is a sales closing call. If all the boxes check off today, are you okay moving forward? And do you have this amount of budget before we move forward and get to the nitty and gritty and go over the more personalized stuff in your business? And if they accept that, then you move forward. Because I think a lot of people don't like to talk about price in the beginning and budget, but you don't want to waste somebody's time, because you know there's going to be less friction in the call if you're able to kind of frame the budget but not tell them the exact price, because that budget could include ad spend. That budget could include something else that's required of them to even get the best results from the program. That budget could be something where at the end you can say, hey, listen, I talked about this budget, but that doesn't even, that's with ad spend and the service fee. So you get us and your ad spend at that budget price. So that's where you can kind of like frame it better at the end of the call, and just completely have a better closing rate. Third thing is you want to be able to do research about them, right? And it's not really a trick. It's like, this is all about your research in the company and like your research in looking at what they're doing, giving them insight, not having to be on the Zoom call and like moving your eyes back and forth from split screen to split screen to split screen, trying to find out more about the company and try to give them on the spot advice. You want to be prepared for each sales call. So have a 10-minute buffer between each call, so that you have 10 minutes to think about the next call, maybe get a glass of water, get some energy rejuvenated, and be able to know more about the business before hopping on the call. The fourth trick that I've used is whenever I hop on a new sales call, I always use the framing of, hey, listen, sorry if I'm out of breath. I just got off a team call and we just got this client this insane result. So I'm really excited to talk to you because your business is kind of just like theirs. And that's where you can kind of get them excited about a result. Like you're teasing what they want, but it happened to another client, and you're kind of dangling the carrot in front of them like, hey, listen, like this happened to this person and it could possibly happen to you if you just fucking pay attention and hear me out. And that's where you kind of have the carrot dangled, and they're just more willing to listen to you. They're not going to be so evasive. They're not going to be so, what results have you gotten? Like you've already teased that objection in the beginning. And the funny part is that no one has ever objected that beginning part. They're kind of just, you're more so setting their brain to function in a way they're more willing to hear you out and be able to listen to your expertise, because now you have leverage in the sales call. You have control, because technically you just got your client that result. You don't need them. They just want you to listen. So now you're not playing the game of like, okay, you know, if this checks or this checks, or yeah, like we have only a limited amount of spots, like you just look way too needy. You can't talk about those kind of things. That is when the price is revealed. And I have a video about, you know, how to reveal the price, which you could check out probably on, you can go to my videos and just search it, like how to reveal the price on a sales call, or you're gonna see some of my recent videos, but I talk about how to reveal that as well, or there's probably gonna be a button up here or something that you can click. But the next thing to really realize is that, and this is the last trick, is that you have to act like you don't care. I know this is an interesting trick, but like you have to act like there's really no attachment to the sale. You have to pull yourself away from the sale because the sale is not really made until you pull away from it. And I know that's an interesting angle, but as soon as you start talking about price and closing them too early in the call or too consistently or repetitively, you kind of you have pushback from the prospect because they think that they're just there to get closed. You know, that's a big thing that I've kind of drawn myself away from, is just kind of being myself on the sales call and just, you know, when I need to be aggressive, then I'm aggressive. The client or prospect has to open that door for you to then handle objections, or you maybe laugh at them, or you kind of like be a different individual, because more people will respect you who are the right clients, who are not like full of shit clients, if you're simply yourself and, you know, attach yourself to the sale. So those are just like probably the biggest 5 tips that I've used to increase my, you know, conversion rates drastically. Also make sure you have a pitch deck. Like if you don't have a pitch deck, you're missing out on a lot of sales right now, and your conversion rates are a lot lower than, you know, they need to be. A pitch deck is basically slides of how you kind of frame the sale in the beginning. You go over certain slides, you go over the biggest pain points, you go over the biggest FAQs, you go over results, you go over, you know, why this makes sense, you go over the numbers for the client. Like it's a whole entire, basically like a webinar, but a consistent pitch deck that you can use for any prospect who comes to your ecosystem. So look into getting your own pitch deck done. Also start like synchronizing a sales script around your biggest objections. And if you start getting certain objections early in the phone call, you should start answering them earlier, even before the sales call actually starts. So maybe text messages beforehand, whatever the case may be. And that leads me to the last trick, which is having reminders for your calls. I love Calendly. I've always used Calendly. It really centralizes my sales team to have those clients' questions up and ready to go, to, you know, have the answers and questions there. Also to send those 3 email reminders, 3 text reminders, no shows as well, so you can consistently keep them in your ecosystem without having all these like diverse automations through Zapier and whatnot, because I don't really think they're needed. My show rates have always been consistent because I've always sent texts about checking social proof, checking this YouTube video, checking this case study, things that excite the clients before they get on the call, because it teases the result that they want. So those are my 6 biggest tricks for increasing your conversion rates drastically over Zoom calls. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.
Hey, my name is Jason Wojo. Welcome to my channel. I run a multiple 7-figure agency. For the past 4 years, I've